great. Almost got it on the rebound. But they're able to pass it straight to their mouths while in flight. Now this is a fantastic way to get a lot of small feeds that can add up to 1 square meal. Now kites are fantastic scavengers, and for this reason often found close to people. Fishing ports, tips and abattoirs are all places that these sharp-eyed hawks can try and score themselves a free and easy feed. And like other scavengers, swing and a miss again. It's not uncommon to find them in large numbers. Now she might look pretty good when she does get airborne, just floating around on her own. But if you can imagine 50 or more of these birds in the sky at any one time, it's actually a really spectacular sight. Now the whistling kite is also very fond of fire. They see the smoke and they'll come in from all sorts of distances to catch up all the small creatures that are fleeing the flames. But once the fire is passed, they'll even sift through the ashes and look for some of the less fortunate creatures as well. Ready to catch the last one. How are we going this time? Oh, she caught it. And we've got 1 out of 3, not too bad today. Now the whistling kite is very much a local bird of Sydney. If you spend any time out on the harbour, there's every chance you could see them. They're really spectacular birds. You've done a great job, Dixie. We'll catch you later. Definitely one of my favourite groups of birds, and she's just one of 25 different types of hawks and falcons that can be found throughout Australia. But we have over 50 different kinds of parrots, and for this we were given the nickname as land of parrots. And it's probably the cockatoos more than any group caught our imagination. Birds like the sulphurs, but of course the black cockatoos as well. Now this lovely lady, her name is Kajani, and we know she's a girl from all the yellow flecks across her black body. But the male red tails look a bit different. They tend to be solid black with a fiery red tail. Now this is Geary. In fact, Geary means red, and you'll get a chance to see that flash of colour as he flies across the top of your heads. Now the past 100 years has seen pressures placed on animals all around the world. Some, like the sulphurs, have been able to flourish, but most have not. In fact, almost all the black cockatoos from southern Australia are facing serious risk of extinction. Now we've often chopped down their homes to build our own, haven't valued their resources, in particular this is nesting sites. Now it takes a tree well over 100 years to start producing a hollow that a bird like Geary would require for raising his young. And if we chop down all the dead trees for plywood, don't let the next generation get old enough to produce hollows, and these birds will continue to face pressures into their future. But we know it's very much a reversible trend. We can put up artificial nest sites in the short term, protect the trees in the long, and make sure that beautiful birds like Geary will have a very long future to fly into. And by protecting hollows for Geary, we're going to support all kinds of creatures. We all know possums use them, but so do snakes, goannas, ducks, and my favourite group are nocturnal predators as well. Anyone has a guess? That's right, the owls. We all know that owls have incredible nighttime vision, but for many of them, they actually spend a lot of time out hunting in the day. In fact, close to half of all the world's owls. And this is something that surprises a lot of people. One owl in Australia, more than any other, loves a good bit of daytime hunting. It's this beautiful bird, the barking owl. This is our barking owl. His name's Herbert. You get a good look at him too as he flies very close to the tops of your heads. Now, I will remind you, sir, just to keep your hands down, okay, because our birds are quite small and vulnerable. We don't want them to have an accidental encounter or collision with you. They're actually quite easily damaged, so if you do that, that'll be very, very helpful. Now, the reason that this owl is out in the day is he's a specialist bird hunter. He'll sit, wait and watch, and when he sees something that makes a good meal, he gets there in one big hurry. Now, it really pays to be fast when you're a bird hunter, for other birds can be very hard to catch. It's not just small birds he's after, he's a powerful predator. Kookaburras, frogmouths, cockatoos as big as Geary can all feature on the menu. You ready? Now, if you have a good look at Herbie's eyes as he comes by, but they are enormous. And if you and I had eyes as large as his, they'd be about the size of softballs. Sorry, can I head this way? On the front of our faces. So big, so jammed in. The front of his face, he actually has no room for muscles at the back, and so his eyes don't move at all. But he has twice as many neck bones as you and I. And this enables him to turn his head 3/4 of the way around. Thanks, mate. He can even turn it completely upside down. And it helps him spot all the other creatures he loves to feed on, which includes insects, possums, rabbits, and pest creatures like rats and mice. I think if you wanted to form a rodent control at home, couldn't ask for a better looking rat trap than young Herbie here. So thanks for that, Kaz. And thank you, Herbie. Owls are definitely one of my favourite groups of birds. The opportunities that I get up to get nice and close to them make my job pretty special. It's not something many people get to do, but we only get in one lucky person that chance now, but someone with a camera. Let's see if you want to come down and join me. Just look, it could be on your phone. Yeah, here we go. This lovely lady over here has a camera already. If you wouldn't mind just coming down to join me. Take a careful step over this fence here. And what's your name? Kim. Now Kim, I'm going to get you to come and take a seat under this stump that's right here. It's made specially for you today. And we're going to be flying one of our newest birds right down towards the top of your head to land here directly behind it, okay? So if you want to take a seat right here, it's nice and dry today in this heat. And if you cast your eyes up into the garden up there, you'll see there's a green nest box, and that is where our owl will be coming from. So if you want to focus your camera up in that direction, you tell me when you're ready, Kim. You're all good, so it looks like we're ready. So if you all keep your eyes peeled in that direction, at any moment you're going to see a beautiful owl. Some of you won't see it till she takes off, so don't worry too much. It's known as a sooty owl, and this is often considered Australia's most nocturnal species of owl. It's all again about food availability. Let's see if Dragon's ready for us. You ready, my friend? Here it comes. Do you think you got it, Kim? Come and stand over here with me and I'll give you another chance to get a good shot of her because she is a spectacular looking bird. Now the sooty owl gets its name from its beautiful charcoal coloration, and this is one of the birds that spends a lot of time in probably some of the darkest of forests here around Sydney. They're also found all the way up into Cape York and across into Papua New Guinea as well, so they're actually quite a widespread little owl. And they are predominantly feeding on gliders and small possums. So again, hunting this type of prey, you can only be out at night looking for them. Right, Kim, I hope you got yourself a good shot or two there. Everyone give Kim a round of applause and pat yourself on the dragon. Now the owls are a very shy and secretive bunch of birds. So although we have 5 different kinds that live around Sydney, we just don't tend to see them all that often. But there are some other birds I'm sure you know at first sight. It includes the little pink and grey guys, the galahs. This is our galah. His name is Jasper, and Jasper too needs someone's help. This time someone towards the back who has some money. A $1 or $2 coin if you have it. Just let me see it. Tell it. The lady in the middle in the black top has got one there. If you wouldn't mind standing up for me right where you are. Now hold that coin thumb and finger and then out to your side. Just out, nice, perfect. And Jasper has seen the money, heads on over, grabs the coin. You've got to let her take it, don't pat it loose, she really doesn't like it. Yeah, that's okay. So all you need to do is she takes the coin, just let her have it. I know you're stronger than her, you don't have to prove anything to me, okay? So this time she's coming on up there. Going to hopefully grab that coin, bring it back, to place it. Thank you very much. Okay, who else would like to give it a go? We are looking for something a bit trickier, kids, so what I want you to do is go back to Mum and Dad, see if they have $20. There's the hands come down. Well, lucky for you all, we are only joking. In fact, Jasper's a very honest bird and would love to return your coin. If you wouldn't mind standing up again for me with your hand nice and flat, palm up, and Jasper will bring your money back to place it. Very family. Thank you very much for your help. You have a great job too, Jasper. Catch you later. Now, I must admit, one of the best things about working at a place like Taronga is an opportunity to make a genuine difference in the lives of the animals, not just in our care, but more importantly in the wild. And if one of those was a chance to help out this beautiful bird over here. Now, this one pictured on this box is called a regent honeyeater. Now, these birds once numbered in their tens of thousands here in Australia. There's now believed to be only about 500 of them left in the wild, and over a quarter of those were actually bred and released from Taronga. Now, if you want to help us out in our efforts, do come down after the show, knowing that any money you place in that box will get out to support creatures just like this. And for anyone who does donate $5 or more, we've made a badge to say thanks to you, but also to show that you've been for the wild today as well. Now, the galahs definitely a very charismatic little bird. So they a lot of people really like them and appreciate them, but I think that some of our least known birds have some of the more interesting of behaviours. In fact, there was a hawk that came to the attention of Europeans, all because of emu eggs, because it was claimed it was getting inside. But we took one look at this bird and said, doesn't look big enough and strong enough to do the job. And in some ways, we were right. But what we didn't know is this little bird had a trick up its sleeve and knew how to use a tool. That was just a rock. Well, we named this black-breasted buzzard Slammer. Slammer, has been here at Taronga for almost 20 years now. She's a spectacular little lady. But the very first time she saw an egg, she knew exactly what to do. She went looking for the nearest rock. Where is it? That's it. Picked it on up and started trying to smash that egg on open. Now she's put herself a nice big hole in there so she can now claim some of that contents from inside. But emu eggs are not that easy to get into. It can take quite a bit of persistence. And if she had to figure this out for herself, she could have got disheartened, even given up trying altogether. But Mother Nature says, keep on trying. Because eventually she will be successful. An egg of this size, those rewards will be very big indeed. But you've done a great job, my friend. Thank you very much, Slammer. Catch you later. They're a really beautiful hawk. If you spend any time around Alice Springs, they love to breed on places like the Todd River and those big river red gums out in the fairly dry, remote regions of the country. But they don't just eat eggs. They spend a fair chunk of their life scavenging, looking for the bodies of animals that have died. And scavengers have a really significant role to play within nature, because by cleaning up those carcasses, they help prevent the spread of disease. But every creature has its part to play, and that includes ourselves. And Fitz is going to help point out one of those tasks to us now. He just wishes, rather than walk past any litter we see, that we pick it up. What are you looking at? Oh, there we go.